Hi, I'm Yapped, and this is Yolked.
I'd like to see your mouth do something else, though.
This mouth does his dog shit.
This is Yapped, and that's Yolked. I'm Yapped. You're Yolked. You're Yapped. She's a Yap. I'm a Yolk.
You had two parents that loved you growing up.
I tricked her into marrying me.
I'm mic'd up, so anything stupid I say goes on the internet. I need attention or I'll die.
The codependent fuck.
Anyway, we're back in Better Than Ever.
Yeah, episode 3, and definitely better than ever. I get food today, so
I've had food all week.
yeah, I'm a little bit on the happier side today. I was up at 4 a.m. because my body was like, "Cool, it's Christmas." It's like, no, it's just food, but it felt like I was 5 again, so that was at least fun.
I was talking to our client that's in peak week yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, everyone's asking me like what I want to eat, and honestly, I just like want more of my meals." And I was like, somebody who gets it, because I swear every time somebody's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, honestly, if you just threw me 100 grams of sweet potato, I'd be chilling. And that's basically what happened to me this week. And I'm like, I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm happy. I'm vibing. I had 5 extra grams of coconut oil and about
Life is great with coconut oil.
150 extra grams of sweet potato. And I'm like, I'm a new bitch.
Yeah, it's crazy what food, sleep, and a little bit of less anxiety does to a human being.
We talked about this on the last episode, but without 3 hours a day of anxiety attacks, I'm crushing it.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait to be a millionaire just because she gets 3 hours a day back. And I wish I was joking on that comment, but it's pretty freaking accurate.
What's crazy is when I had that one job, I was having 3 hours a day of anxiety attacks and making the most money I've ever made in my life. So imagine what's going to happen when I literally am just
superpowers.
a homeostatus bitch.
I don't know.
My homeostasis is still like...
Your homeostasis is equivalent to Shelby's. You walk outside, you shiver and shake uncontrollably because the outside's scary. So
our one fat potato we mentioned in the last episode
that's our dog, by the way.
Yeah, just to clarify.
You weren't.
She's afraid of everything, and when we get in the elevator to go outside, she shakes. I'll take a video and post it for you guys, but everyone's always like, "Oh, is she cold?" I'm like, "No, we're afraid of the sky."
And it's crazy too because at some points we think, "Oh, it's the elevator. She's scared of the elevator because she shakes uncontrollably on the way down." But it was only at night at Midtown, so it was never in the morning where she shook.
Yeah,
and then it was only on the way down.
It slowly progressed when we lived in Florida because I think she realized like nighttime thunderstorms are a thing here. So she was afraid during her like thunder season, hurricane season. Then it became like year round. And now she's like really smart enough, at least in this one setting, to realize that it's like a PM thunderstorm Florida situation.
I think it's really ballsy of you to use the word smart in any sentence describing that dog. There's nothing of brain activity going on up there. It's just it's just instinct, and what her internal gut instinct says is prediction of danger, which is nothing. But to her, it's everything. Absolutely everything.
To wrap that up, we separate our dogs now due to some bullshit, but our cleaning lady,
no brain cells.
Our cleaning lady has been our cleaning lady since we lived in Florida. We've had her for like 3 years. And she knows that they have to be separated. And she texted Connor one day. Keep in mind, she speaks quite literally 0 English. And goes, the fat one won't leave the skinny one alone. Yeah. Was the translation.
I mean, she's not wrong. Fat one would
Gorda.
not leave the skinny. Gorda. La gordita.
That sounds pretty.
Little chubby thing.
Don't talk about me like that.
No, I could never. You're a fucking tiny little thing.
Well, we were going to bring it back around on the communication piece. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple people write in on Instagram, so we'll definitely pull those up. But I did ask Connor to think of some times where we had to have some, maybe, I wouldn't even say hard conversations. I think we've gotten in a good groove where they're really not hard anymore. It's just like...
I wouldn't call it that, because that definitely is misleading, because the conversations are still hard. We're not going to discredit like I don't want to use the word, not severity, but they're
severe conversations.
Yes, severe.
Our life is on the line.
No, I'm not going to discount or discredit like the importance of tough and hard conversations because they are still that. But because we've gotten better at it, it doesn't mean that they're not hard.
Yeah, but I don't think like we shy away from them the way we maybe once did.
Yeah, we nipped that in the bud early as fuck though, and that was
So with that being said, when I go, I know exactly where
we're going straight to the story I tell everybody. Well, I'm actually going to go back a little bit further than that, but go ahead.
Okay, wait. I just want to say this is not meant to be a roast. Okay?
Okay. So 2 months into dating, or a month and a half into dating, I broke up with Summer because her communication abilities, and I'm not talking about like, oh, is she able to communicate on the basic, or like just in a relationship, like just communication at all, even just as normal communication was just dog shit. And then one evening, like, I don't even remember what the hell the topic was.
Oh, I do.
What was it?
Well, I don't know the exact topic, but I do remember the circumstances. So, like, we were, like, not even bickering, but just, like, going back and forth on something, and we were both in prep, and we were both sleepy, cranky, tired. And I was like, I'm going to bed. And in my mind, I was just like, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm tired. I'm doing the right thing by putting myself to sleep instead of staying up and like debacling with you because it's not going to be productive. And that was pretty much it. Like I was just like, it was from my point of view, it was very much like, I know that I'm being reactive. I'm going to just go sleep it off. We'll be cool in the morning.
Yeah, that's not how adults work. Because the way that actually went down, even though it was text messages, all I saw was, cool, 13-year-old girl slammed her bedroom door, locked it, and is going to bed to escape parents. Because that's all it was. It was the middle of a conversation, and it was just, okay, I'm going to bed. Like, hey, no, we were discussing something, even though it might not have been like a pleasurable topic. Don't even remember what it could have been. But yeah, that next day,
it was so single.
We broke up for a total of 22 hours, I think it was.
Yeah.
Maybe 18 hours.
Connor dumped me.
Yeah.
And then I had the best day of work ever.
You did, but you called me and you told me you loved me for the first time. So at least that was a nice little...
Okay, so to bring it back to that, Connor was like weird in the morning and I was like, the fuck? And he like wouldn't talk to me. And then it was...
Well, I broke up with you.
No, you broke up with me on my lunch break.
Oh, we're talking about that day I broke up with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was talking about the next day.
So he was weirdo the whole day, and then I was like, can we talk while I'm at least on my lunch? And you were like, we're done. Not so many words. And I was disheveled because, to be honest, I really didn't think I did anything wrong. I see both sides, but...
There's not both sides. If we went back and looked at those text messages...
To me, genuinely, I was just going to bed. I was in a bad mood, and I was putting myself to bed.
That's the point, though. This is the episode on communication.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of the phone, because that's what you thought was happening, does not mean that's what's happening in the communication piece of our text messages. Back to our piece here, but it doesn't matter. We're not here to hash out.
Imagine we break up today over our first argument.
Right. We're not here to hash out what
happened
hang up, during that.
But
yeah, we immediately recognized communication was a major issue in the relationship. So got back together after 22 hours or so.
Wait a minute. I just want to bring clarification to that. Connor dumped me.
Yeah, and I came right back.
I had the bombest day at work. I signed 6 deals that day. 6 for 6. I crushed it. I was like, I'm in my single girl era. I'm going to be a fucking... This is when being a boss bitch was cool. Yeah, guess whose phone went off at 5:55 p.m. when my workday ended at 6 p.m. And I was foot on the gas going to get my friend from the airport, and Connor was trying to have a whole ass conversation, and I was like, baby, I'm single.
Yeah, so that didn't last long. But we got back together, and then the more important thing that ended up from this was she was still living in Utah, I was still living in Colorado at the time. 6 hours apart, so we this will be a different story for a different time. We were long distance.
We were the worst long distance couple ever.
Yeah, we were long distance for 26 weeks. We saw each other 16 out of those 26 weeks.
And by that I mean like 16
weekends.
Not even weekends. trips. Some of those trips were like 3, 4, 5 days long.
Yeah, because Christmas was 5 days, Vegas was like 6.
Even at like our longest long distance, we didn't know how to do space between us very well.
Granted, there was a little bit of a perk around things. That 6-hour drive really wasn't that bad.
Then it was COVID, so
Wyoming,
flights were so cheap.
Yeah, Wyoming sucks, by the way, for anyone listening. And
Probably still does.
definitely still sucks. But the flights were cheap, and airports were empty, and airplanes were empty. I would go back to that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would love to get some space between us, baby.
Annoying people staying inside because they're stupid because of COVID, and then us just being
you
like,
meant
cool, let's
quiet airports.
yeah. What did you want to go back to?
Long distance.
Oh, that's fine by me too. Where do you want to go?
Anywhere. What are my options?
I'll go to Dallas. You can stay on the beach.
I'll go
That's
back.
not a 6-hour drive though. That really makes things different.
All right, we'll have to figure that out later.
But now that we're off on a full different tangent, the important conversation that came out of all this, we were still long distance. I was visiting you in March, I think it was, because it was a little bit warmer. Because we were
the
on
wallet?
We were on our way to Gracie's.
No.
When was that?
We were full living together. That was the weekend we came to see people that were living in my apartment.
Yeah, because that was the weekend we stayed at the hotel, that janky hotel. But either way, it was warmer months in Utah. We were back in Salt Lake City, and Summer has this wonderful quality about herself where if something goes missing, anything, like a fucking hair clip in this house, if it goes missing, it could be the least important hair clip of the entire world. It could mean nothing to her. It could mean, hey, I need to find this so I can incinerate it and throw it out because that's what I'm doing today. If she can't find it, she will burn the house down and flip it upside down to find this one item that has no value and no meaning.
No, this is actually like a serious
problem.
Yeah. I will say, like, I'm like really meticulous about like things, and I'm really like, I don't even want to say protective, but like just anal as shit about like, I take good care of things. I like to know where my shit is. And like that little alarm goes off in my head that's like, where's that one lip liner that has 1 inch left of it that is 9 years old?
Has 1 squirt left of it that might be half dried up.
Well, I can't be without that.
I'll tell you, I'll give you something that's half a squirt, half dried up. What?
Okay. Guys,
That's
we're going to lose followers just because you're
That's
pro.
fine. I hope we don't know.
I mean, it is fine.
Anyway,
as long
so
as it's
this
men.
wonderful quality. Oh, we definitely have to have a man hater episode.
Every episode's a man-hater episode.
No, but it can't be this. It's called Yapped and Yolked. You can turn your Vroomcast into that, but we're definitely going to have a separate man-hater episode. Anyway, if we can potentially ever stay on topic, which isn't happening.
Yeah, the ADHD is flowing today.
Big time. We were in Salt Lake. It was warmer months, and we were on our way to one of our favorite restaurants, and she had misplaced her wallet in what she thought was the hotel. 30, 45 minutes, we tore through everything, slowly getting closer and closer to our reservation time. It's rush hour. We want to get there on time because we're fucking hungry. And the wallet ended up being in your suitcase in the back of the car. Like, absolutely nowhere whatsoever of actual misplacement. It was just you completely forgetting where it was and then going on an essential temper tantrum to find it, which then led to me being frustrated because there's no stopping you. You're a bowl in a china shop with a fucking match
Well, the
lit on
biggest
your ass.
issue here is that in Utah, the liquor laws are wild. So, like, even if you're going to a restaurant but they serve liquor, you can't get in without an ID.
I forgot that's what it was.
Like, we literally couldn't go out to dinner until I found my wallet.
And I think we like flew out the day after or 2 days later. And I was like, you need your ID to fly too.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she goes through this 30, 45 minute rigmarole. I'm frustrated. Justifiably frustrated. Because this is a 26-year-old woman. Hey, where's your ID? Where's your wallet? Like, how are you misplacing this? You're an adult. And I'm frustrated. I'm not horribly outwardly expressing it. I'm not yelling. I'm not angry at her. I'm just understandably frustrated. And with Summer's background and lack of communication, me being frustrated turned into her lashing out and going dead silent and quiet.
Okay, lashing out's crazy because all I do is go silent. Like, I'm not...
You go silent, but like the level of cunt you wear on your face is the equivalent as if you went fucking physical. Like you don't like. It's like I'm not kidding.
Well,
like
tell me how you really feel.
There is something about you when you get like that, when you just shut down and quiet because like you're incorrectly angry, where it's like your face is the equivalent of just domestic violence.
I've been called worse.
By yourself, probably.
Or my dad.
Oh, there it is. You guys will get used to that one, I'm sure. So there's our intro to the episode. I am positive on that. Anyway, she's copping this attitude, silent in the passenger seat of my best friend's ride. I don't know the lyrics.
God, the ADHD is fun.
I know it's terrible today. I took some nootropics and I don't know what's going on with my brain. But we're on our way to the restaurant and I'm sitting there like trying to talk to her and she's just dead silent with this look on her face, like pissed at me because I'm frustrated that she took 40 minutes to find an ID that should not have been misplaced. And I looked at her, I was like, hey, if this relationship's gonna work, this ain't how we fucking communicate. I was like, this is not gonna work. This is not how we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk this out right now because by the time we get to dinner, we're gonna be fine and we're gonna go enjoy dinner, but this ain't how this is gonna work. And I don't remember exactly how the rest of it panned out. I think I dragged some words out of you, and I mean like kicking and screaming, fucking dragged words out of you.
Yeah.
Which, to my recollection, we ended up at dinner just fine. But there was a moment. I turned to her, I was like, this ain't gonna fucking work. And if we want this to work, this ain't it.
Yeah. So to give a little insight, Connor and I come from two very different upbringings. Connor, like, I'm not saying this to be funny or like, haha, like Connor comes from a very like stable household, good parents, good family dynamic, whatever. It's not funny.
No, the way you just said it though, because you're like, I don't mean this to be funny, but
No, it's really not funny.
I know, but the way you described my family was just so very clinically, like, clean. So like the pretext to it was what was funny. Because continue. Because typically you would make the joke and be like, Connor's family's the weird one because they're normal.
Yeah, but I'm actually trying to be serious.
You're lead into it. Go ahead.
I come from an extremely broken family where there was mental abuse to extreme lengths every single day, violence every single day, and every single night we went to bed and put it to rest and tried to pretend that everything was normal in the morning. So like there was no communication, and honestly like I didn't realize that wasn't normal until I was like in my later teen years where I was like, yeah, I don't think that's right. Like maybe there's an alcohol problem, maybe there's a substance abuse problem, maybe this shit isn't normal. And so like very literally when I say went to bed every night, raging, crying, sobbing, etc. And then woke up and was like, yeah, we chillin'. And obviously that's an extreme. Like there definitely was resentment that built up, but like we never, ever spoke about it. So for me, it's just like always been the dynamic that we don't talk about it. We don't bring it up.
Gets swept under the rug.
Buried.
You wake up the next morning and pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've treated
Connor doesn't let me do that, though.
No, there's a handful of times like in the past 2 years I've seen you do that, but it's never to anything serious with us. So it's like I recognize and I see that it happens.
Yeah.
But
I do
it's
think
usually
now
not between us though.
No.
Other shit.
But I will say, like, this sounds like such an insane thing to like make a resolution, but one of my like resolutions this year was just to be more confrontational, because I do find that like even just interactions with strangers and stuff, I'm like, that wasn't cool and I should have said something. And now I feel like I've gotten to a point where I almost need to like reverse it back and be a little kinder. But like I'll take being a little bit more edgy to a stranger who has no right to disrespect my boundaries and me to be like, hey, absolutely not, than to just like bend over for these people. Because I mean, even as like we talked about this the other day and like living in Tampa and whatnot, but like as a woman, you just get like steamrolled by people sometimes. And
I mean, I was going to say this too, like you being a little bit more confrontational than not, or trying to be, that's fine. It balances out our relationship because I'm usually the most kind, annoying type of kind.
I feel like we both pendulum swing one way or the other, because you're either like, I love you, a fucking asshole, or you're like, no sweat off my back. And I'm like, where's the guy that's going to knock him out? I need that man right now.
Yeah, see, like the way I go one way to the other. Like if at Whole Foods that last month when the cart was broken in the middle of the parking lot and there was an old lady trying to push the cart, I stopped my car in the middle of the parking lot, picked up the physical cart, brought it to the front door and helped her into the building. Now, flip that scenario. If that same old lady was standing in the doorway of the entrance to Whole Foods on her cell phone, I would have been a dick. So like I am very
You're selectively a dick.
Circumstantially responsive, but I lean towards kindness when people.
Yeah, I would say you
kindness.
do tend to lean towards kindness, but
Thank you, Grandma.
yeah, shout out Mima.
Shout out, Mima.
But yeah, I mean, all of that to say, we've had a lot of. I mean, I would say now, like, we're a little bit more, like, we're chilling when we have to have those conversations. But, I mean, I was telling Connor last night, I still have, like, a lot of, especially, like, the last week, a lot of, like, weird childhood things coming up for me where I just feel, like, very small and, I don't know, reactive and weird. But I think nowadays we're pretty good at, like, just being like, okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to say that. This is how that made me feel.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, there's at least a few other memories we can go
I
back
have
to and pull
so
from.
many. Do you want to know why Connor's fired?
Yeah, just fire me. I'm fine with it.
So, this is the second time we're recording this half of the pod.
Yeah, so we cut this podcast in half last week. We recorded the second half Saturday.
Sure.
And so for everyone here, as this setup changes over the next several weeks, because it will, this soundboard right here, very great tool. However, you need to hit record on it.
It's a wild concept. We tried to edit it and just like enhance the voices, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't listen to that. So we're back, baby.
Yeah, and I will say, we both feel way shittier today than we did on Saturday when we originally recorded this. So we apologize in advance.
At least we already did it, so we know what to talk about.
Now, let's bring this
And
back
one
around.
of the
to
things somebody said is that they felt like they were hanging out with us, which is the ultimate compliment, because I want you guys to feel like we're your close personal friends that you're chilling with.
Close personal friends that you can be jealous as fuck of.
Yeah, be jealous, because you'll never hate us, but you ain't us, you know?
Nah, we don't want to be that, but we want to be people you can definitely vibe with, feel like you're hanging out with, but then also take some good advice from. So.
But also realize that we don't hang out with anyone, and you'll never hang. No, I'm kidding. But now that we're back, we are going to talk about what our other situations were where we've had to have some tough conversations. And I know Connor's about to light me up because he already did it once, so we'll do it again. And then we'll talk about how my version of talking is backhanding, and then we'll wrap it up.
We had a few questions from people, from
we'll go
listeners
over
as
the
well, which we'll go back
questions
over. But I think what we talked about last time, I had a memory and you had a memory of communication. For lack of memory on this, let's assume we talked about the Utah
I think we did.
drive. I'm pretty sure we did. But the second memory I had was a more a later in relationship communication piece that really set the tone for our marriage, which I think is a huge, huge piece that people overlook, is that they are either pressured to get married by family, they feel pressured to get married by society, or they just rush into getting married at the wrong time. And it could be the right person, it could be the wrong time. And with this memory that we're going to go over, it's the right person, but it was the wrong time for us.
Right person's still out for debate.
Yeah, it's still up for debate there. But no, back in 2023, June of 2023, we originally had our elopement scheduled. We had the photographers all set up and everything. We had communication going on with them. But at that point in time, Summer was neck deep in sales, and her job was killing her, and then in turn her job was killing our relationship, to the point where like we paid these photographers via the elopement package, and like weeks were going by and we weren't even doing anything with it. And then it eventually turned into a conversation of, hey, like, I want our wedding, I want our marriage, I want everything that surrounds that to be strictly around positive times and memories. Yeah. And at that point in time in our relationship, if we had gotten married that June, the months leading into it weren't positive.
Yeah, to bring like a little bit of transparency to that, and like, I know you guys probably see me joke online about like mental health or anxiety or like whatever, but I mean, I was so uptight and stressed 24 hours a day about my job that like I was sleeping with my phone in my hand or on my chest. I was relying on Connor to literally be like peace of mind, sanity, grounding, meal maker, housekeeper,
house husband,
everything. And like I would go to the gym and just answer work texts and then drive away without having even done like a set. If I even got out of the car, like it was killing me in every regard. And I didn't realize at the time like how much weight that was putting on Connor selfishly, because I was just like so locked in on like making enough money and performance. And like honestly, when I look back, it had nothing to do with the money and everything to do with the ego that it was attached to, like how
took the words out of my mouth.
Perceived by the team. So when Connor was like, hey, so yeah, we're not gonna get married right now, obviously that was like, it felt like a breakup for a sec, because it was hard conversation.
It was probably like a month where like you emotionally kind of had to like wade through that, because all in all, it's not something anyone wants to hear. No. But in turn, we were already going to counseling. We were already going to couples counseling at that point in time, which we're going to talk about plenty. But it was the best decision we made in my eyes. And we'll cover our actual marriage and elopement down the road on this conversation. But the couples counseling, first and foremost, if you're in a happy relationship, if you're in a fucked up relationship, if you're in a relationship that you look at that person and you say to yourself, I want to be with them, get your ass in couples counseling. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a positive day, if it's a negative day. It doesn't matter if you think you need it, you need it. You're not perfect humans. We're not perfect humans by any means.
Speak for yourself.
And it is something that I truly think is a major impact, positive impact to any relationship, and then especially to any marriage.
I'm going to iterate this so many times over the course of this podcast, I'm sure, but I think there's this preconceived notion that like we've kind of come around to like therapy as in general, in terms of like it's good. It's not like you're broken. I feel like I grew up in my household, it was like therapy meant like the world was ending, and now it's just like so normalized, which is awesome. But I still think that there's a lag on the relationship side of that. I think that people think like, man, it's got to be broken for people to be so desperate to like involve a counselor in it. And I feel like it's just such the opposite for me. I think that it was like such a game changer in us, in how we, like the first thing we did with our relationship counselor was learn love languages and how to speak to one another. And I think that like changed everything for us. And I'll say it again, I think if you're like in the dating world of like, he viewed my Instagram story and didn't text me back, like this is not the conversation for you. But if you're in a serious relationship where you care about the person, potentially finances are intertwined, you're living under one roof, you want to be with them long term.
Future conversation.
Yeah, I think that like there's such this notion that like, oh, if you're in therapy before you're married, like break up with them, and like we wouldn't be together.
No, I'm so glad you said that, because you said that last time. And
it's almost like
my comment to that was, if you can't make it through couples therapy before you're married, then you're probably not meant to get married.
Yeah.
You should use that as a benchmark. And I don't mean that like, oh, we got through a rough patch, we went through couples therapy, and now we're better and we can get married. I mean, no, just go see it through and just get in a couple sessions. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be I just need to get some stuff off my chest. Yeah. And if you can make it through several sessions of couples therapy positively and come out on the back end, like you'll be better for it. And I think that's a huge benchmark for being like, cool, this marriage will work. Like, this will be something we can confidently say is going to last.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, we had a really good experience, and then I'm grateful for that. But what I wish more couples understood is, like, you can still be with that person and push the timelines if you need to. Like, we've definitely been associated with people that we were like, you don't have to even break up. Just, like, don't go have a wedding 2 weeks after you're starting therapy and nothing's fixed yet. You don't get to enjoy the day. You don't get to enjoy the planning. You don't get to enjoy the honeymoon, because at the root of it, you're probably still pissed off or working through something.
There's that weird dark fantasy cloud from like a Looney Tunes movie where it's like it's still hanging up there, but it's sunshine and rainbows over here. But there's this cloud that's just constantly overhead.
But when we look back now at our wedding, there's like only happy memories associated with it. It was like the best day ever.
I mean, the months leading up to it, the actual 10 days we were gone, the months afterwards, like
looking at the photos, I don't look at it and be like, in 2 minutes before that, I was ready to chew his head off.
Shit, I can't even imagine if we tried to travel to Greece while you were still working how you were.
We wouldn't have made it back.
We wouldn't even have gotten to the first day, because you would have been on the flight at the airport, transferring from the Delta flight to that little rinky-dink plane to get to Milos. Like, you would have been trying to answer Slack bullshit, and I would have been like, you know what, fuck you, I'm leaving you in Athens, I'm going to Milos by myself, and just would have just like been like, cool, I'm gonna go spend a week on this island by myself. Like, it wouldn't have happened how it did.
No, it wouldn't have. But yeah, I mean, it took you bringing that to my attention and us having to really learn how to work through some shit. And that wasn't the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time, but.
No, not at all. But that's the thing where we have learned to communicate through couples therapy. We've learned to communicate through going through some shit, because you don't just get good at something in comfort. You get really good at something going through discomfort.
Fact.
And all in all, like, the biggest positive turn of it all was that we can look at our wedding, our marriage, our elopement, and say, cool, we did that exactly how we wanted to, and with all the memories we wanted to walk away with it from. Yeah. I mean, shit, we were technically married December 29th, 2023.
Me and Connor can never get our date right.
We eloped on June 5th of 2024, but that's a 6-month difference between there. There was not a bad memory in those 6 months. So between the time we were legally married to the time we eloped across the world, not a bad memory. And I think that, and that is exactly what I wanted when I said, hey, babe, let's postpone this so that way we can do it the right way and reflect back on it and have the memories we want. And for everyone, I hope that for you. Because why wouldn't you want that, and why wouldn't you want that for others? Right?
Yeah, agreed. The other one we talked about, and we'll talk about again on our re-recording. I told Connor, I don't fully remember like the communication and like what surrounded it fully, but when we were living together, first like 6 months probably we were living together, to bring it back, my dad had passed, and like 2 years went by where I was like cross-country move, breakup, new job, prep, long distance relationship, another prep, moved in with Connor, and then like I got a good job, life settled down, things were like chilling for the first time. And I mean, I was probably in fight or flight at that point for 28 years. We laugh, but actually, and I took mushrooms one night and completely unraveled as a human being, and like cried and sobbed and grieved
for the first time in, what did we say, 3 years? It was basically
like 2.5, 3,
two and a
something
half
like
years.
that.
So it was 2.5 years.
And that was the first time Connor was like, you need to talk to somebody. So, you know, I always say this, and I think people think I'm joking when I say it, but mushrooms will literally talk to you and tell you what you probably don't want to hear, but need to know. And it was in that moment I was like, holy crap, I'm broken, and I need to like address a situation, grieve, cope, and go through probably all 7 stages of grief, except maybe anger at that point.
Yeah, definitely not anger at that point.
But yeah, I started seeing a therapist like for the first time ever in my life at 28, 29 maybe, just a couple months before we left Colorado. So it was never going to be a long-term situation. But thank God, honestly. And
Yeah.
I know Connor had to basically look at me and be like, yeah, this is, you can't just like bring this into the house and sit in this and like exist like this. It's never going to be conducive to anything. So I remember like just sobbing uncontrollably, and he was just like, okay,
So we're here.
this is where we're
But
at.
on that note as well, too, something you mentioned last time was, one, her first therapist wasn't a good fit.
It wasn't.
And that's okay. There are dozens, if not hundreds, out there that will take you on and potentially be a good fit for you. So
Yeah.
if you go to therapy and it's not the right fit first, find a different one or ask
Yeah.
for a recommendation, because these therapists, if they're good at their job, they care about you succeeding and being better. So they're not going to gatekeep
Yeah.
a good therapist that they think might be a better fit for you.
Yeah.
And then the second piece on that is I've been through multiple therapists on my own. I think I touched on this briefly back in 2020. I was living on my own. Some shit was going weird in my brain to the point where I was crying multiple times a day for no reason. And then after the fifth time I called my mom while I was at work, sobbing at my desk for no reason, she called me and goes, hey, your dad bought a flight. He'll be there Sunday. Pack your shit up. We're moving back. You're moving back home with your parents. So at 25 years old, I moved back in with my parents for 3 months. At that point in time, I had been seeing a therapist in Colorado. I moved back in with my parents in New York, saw a different therapist in New York. And for me, most of my therapy sessions, and it didn't matter who the therapist was mostly just me talking, them with very minimal prompts, and then me being like, okay, cool, here's everything that's on my mind. And then eventually me coming to the realization of, oh, I just needed to talk through my emotions and thoughts to an unbiased ear. And then I came to a light bulb moment all on my own.
Yeah.
And for me, that's how therapy worked for me. Yeah. For others, not so much. For others, it could be similar. It could be drastically different. But go into therapy open-minded that there's no right way and there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Yeah, I like when I started seeing my one therapist, she was very much like, this is what we're going to do and here are your action items. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, that was like exactly what I needed. But there's definitely been other times where I needed to like, how do you feel about that? And also everything in between. So I just encourage you to find somebody that's giving what you need. I went to a therapist who like literally gave me an entire Trello board of like task assignments while I was working at that job that was already killing me. And I felt like I was just showing up week over week to an appointment where I was letting somebody down because I didn't have
go back for the
time.
second week.
I went like 3.
Yeah.
And I like, you know, as a people pleaser who's literally going to therapy for people pleasing, you're getting all these like literally homework assignments, like a college course amount of homework, doing none of it, and then just feeling guilt. I was like, this is not conducive to like me healing at all. So from that point, I was like, I need a referral to somebody who's going to treat me differently.
How you need to be treated.
And maybe if I went to her now, because I have more time and more bandwidth, I could work on all those things and read the book she was recommending and like. But that was never going to happen in that moment. That was making me worse, if anything, because I just felt like I was showing up and not fulfilling the needs of what people are asking of me in another place in my life where I already felt that everywhere
that
else.
Pressure on things.
Yeah. But we did have a couple of people write in on Instagram about things that are posing challenges in their relationships present time.
Do you have to go dig for yours, or do you want to do mine first?
You can do yours if you remember it. I'm going to pull mine up because I deleted the screenshot after we recorded the episode.
I'm not as popular, so I only had one question prompt here.
Yeah.
The question was how to best communicate when you typically aren't an emotional individual. And this is a male asking the question. And I can understand this. Depending on how you were raised, depending on who you are as an individual, there's that male stigma of like, there's not going to be a lot of emotion. You're stoic. You don't show emotion and everything in between. My best advice to that is, even though you might find that you yourself are not good at communicating your emotions, learn how your significant other likes to be communicated with, so that way you can check the boxes that satisfy them, even though it might not be your strongest suit. Yeah. So personally, I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to certain conversations, or most conversations. Like Summer has seen me cry God knows how many times. It's not anything I'm ashamed of, and it's just who I am. I will cry if the circumstance calls for it. But for you listening, who might not express your emotions the same way, you have to be self-reflective and actionable enough to say, okay, this isn't who I am, but this is what my person needs, my significant other needs. So now I'm going to do what I can to provide that to them. And it might not be writing a love letter. It might not be verbally communicating your emotions in those senses. It might be, oh, you took action somewhere else that showed the emotion, or you melded their love language with how you communicate to give them what they experience or what they want to experience in terms of love, emotion, and communication. But more than anything, it's just action items you're taking on your own to give to your other person. Does that make sense?
Sure.
No?
That was a lot of words.
Okay, less words. Figure out your significant other's love language. Find out how they feel, express, and desire love, and then check the boxes as necessary with actions.
You don't have to be an emotional person, I feel, to fulfill the needs of your partner. Like, if your partner is a gift person and you get them, even if it's a stupid gift, socks, flowers, I don't know. But, like, you don't need to go drop $1,000 for it to be meaningful. If your person's thing is words of affirmation, hey, babe, you look great today. I appreciate that you did that. Thanks for your help with this. Whatever. Like, you don't have to be overly emotional to fulfill any of that, in my opinion. For me, the girlies wrote in. Number one, so posing an issue in the relationship when I have to tell him that I feel left out of something. What's your male perspective?
My male perspective on...
Like, if I came to you and I was like, I feel left out, you'd probably say...
I don't know how. You're with me 25/8, 366, so I'm not sure how you manage that.
Listen, it can happen. I think something also to note is... and I tell this to Connor, and this is one of the conversations we've had before, because we do spend so much time together, is just because you spend time together doesn't mean the time was intentional or it was like quality. Mm-hmm. And so, like, yeah, we work in the same room, we live in the same house, we do cardio together, fasted in the morning, but we're both on separate worlds, headphones, different phones, books, whatever. Like, that I don't necessarily deem as quality time. I don't feel like I like bonded with you bonded is not the right word, during that time, but like... Yeah, that's just another, like another level to that as well, is like you could feel left out of like sometimes we're just scrolling on two different phones sitting in the same room and I'm like, we have nothing to do with what one another's doing right now. I wouldn't walk away and be like, I feel so fulfilled by that. Yeah. But I think with like being left out of things, it's going to come down to like what it is circumstantially.
Yeah, context really matters, but I'll split it into two different things. One, be intentional with your time with your person.
Yeah.
Summer and I have a coffee date every morning, which is literally just running to grab a cup of coffee and come back home, or we'll sit at the cafe and work, which isn't quite bonding time, but that's time that we get together daily, that we know we have together daily. And then similarly, every Sunday, we go sit outside at Perry's porch for about 2 hours. We sip coffee, we'll read. We might not be heavily interacting with each other, but it's a time and place where we're like, you know what, this is just her and I experiencing the world, relaxed, enjoying coffee. This is something we love, and we get to do every Sunday, which is something I look forward to every single Sunday. Yeah. So being intentional with your time together. And then the second piece would be contextually, context matters. What do you feel like you're being left out of? Yeah. So like if your significant other is like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with the guys tonight, but he's hung out with the guys every single night all week and doesn't do much else, then yeah, open a conversation of, hey, babe, I want to spend more time with you because you're not prioritizing us or my time. Yeah. Or us or time with me. But if it's we spent all week together and then he just wanted to hang out with the guys, now I'm like feeling some type of way. Well, why do you feel that way? You might want to ask yourself that question. Yeah, like I made the comparison. If Connor went and hung out with like 4 couples and left me out, I'd
obviously be like, what the hell? I feel left out.
Please no.
But I think that it's highly dependent on like what the circumstances are for sure. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that should be such an easy conversation, because if you guys are like in a legitimate, happy, healthy relationship, it should be just a matter of like, hey, I like really don't like, I didn't want to stay home today. I wish you would have like invited me. It can be like truly that simple.
Yeah.
And I think the way you frame things, and this is what we learned early on, matters. Because if I went to Connor and was like, I can't believe you did that, I feel so left out, that's so hurtful, that's so much different than being like, hey, I don't think you realized, and I'm sure you didn't mean anything by it, but you going out today and like not even asking if I wanted to like come for the ride, that like kind of hurt. I wanted to spend time with you. It's as soon as you become accusatory that it becomes an issue. And so I think just like presenting that in a way that feels like positive and like you're going in for a solution, not for an argument.
Yeah. And then one thing I think you and I do very well is at the end of the day, we pretty much always look at each other like, what do you got tomorrow?
Always. I would say at least like twice a day we check in. I'm like, where can I take something off your plate? What can I help with? What do you have on the docket for today?
Yeah.
How does that affect my
So
day?
that way we're pretty much consistently on the same page. And then realistically too, like no one's getting left out if we know what's going on.
Yeah. We work in an industry too where like things pop up last minute. Like, oh, I have this. I have to pose this person. I have to drive to Tampa and pick this up. Like just little random things all the time. And so like that's why touching base on that stuff like twice a day is important. The other one was if I cry or get emotional, it irritates him.
I'm so sorry. I can't stop yawning right now. Prep is really prepping today. So don't get emotional.
Yeah, stop. No, I'm
Stop
kidding.
being emotional. No, that's not the answer. However, I will say there is some honesty to that answer. Because
it's very twofold.
It is very twofold. If everything you respond to is with high emotion, then yeah, you're more than likely going to eventually develop the environment that the response you get is annoyed. Because if all you do is come to the table with high emotion and drama, well, the response is going to be reciprocal in that eventually the other person's going to get annoyed by that.
Yeah.
But if you come to the table and you're trying to communicate with your significant other and you're like, hey, let's just talk. I want to get some stuff off my chest. And then it shifts into emotion and then they're annoyed, I'd say that other person's in the wrong. It's going to come down to how you translate it, how you communicate it from your side to theirs, and then most importantly, like the frequency in which you are bringing up the same issue or feeling as though you constantly need to be emotional about something.
Yeah. I'll say a couple of things on that. So there is a time in a past relationship where like everything I responded to was like, I was emotional, I was angry. Like there was no like homeostasis in terms of how I responded. It was just always high strung, angry, lashing out. And now that I look back, I'm like, well, that very literally was my brain being like, you're with the wrong person, because these little tiny things should not send you off the ledge. But additionally, from that point, it's like, you know, I found myself being, and I go through phases and I know that it's like hormonal amongst other things, but like Connor can be the first one to tell you where like there's periods of weeks or even months where like you could be like, hey, I love you. And I would probably start sobbing like for no reason. And, you know, you don't realize, and I certainly didn't realize, I try to be so much more aware of it now, how much weight that puts on the other person when they feel like they can't like say anything to you without walking on eggshells. And Connor's definitely had to like make me realize that. But, you know, one, like look at yourself and what is causing the emotion. And is it like something that you have a control over? Because you very literally may not at certain times. Like hormonally, we as women can get so fucked up, you might just like sob. But a really good example, like yesterday, I've noticed in the past couple of weeks that my response to things, not even like response, just like I feel so tense and uptight and anxious, and I find myself like reverting back to like childhood wounds and like the way I would respond even just a couple of years ago before therapy, like Connor put a pair of keys down the other day and I was like, ooh, was that like an angry key put down? Like that's what growing up in a traumatic household will do to you. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm even thinking like that. Like that hasn't been my life in almost a decade. And I had to text him yesterday. He was out on a walk. Not that I had to text him. I could have said it in person, but I just wanted to like say it, close my phone and be done with it. I was like, hey, I don't know why this is my response right now. Super sorry. If anything I do comes off like snappy or mean or emotional, it's strictly because like I don't know what's happening in my brain right now, but everything is making me feel like I'm 16 again living in my parents' house. And I love you and it has nothing to do with you. And like, you know, if he had come back and been like, well, figure it the fuck out, I would have probably imploded. But it's also just about how you as the individual, you can't control what your partner is going to do or anyone in this world is going to do, but you can control what you're going to do and how you're going to say it. And if I walked into that conversation knowing I gave it my absolute best, I presented it in a logical and reasonable way, and his response is crazy, like that's also really telling.
Yeah, that's a big sign. But to tack on to that as well, like communication is going to be the groundwork for how stable your relationship is. So with how amazing she was yesterday to text me those things, to get it off of her chest, to let me know what she was feeling, to let me know that, hey, if I react this way, it's not you, it's this. That clears the air drastically for how we operate through the rest of the day in our home. But on that same note, there are days, it's not so frequently right now. There was a little time over the summer last year where she would react in a certain way, and I would look at her and be like, this is you reacting as 16-year-old Summer, and not reacting to the immediate moment, not reacting to the present situation, but oh no, I just watched her do X, Y, Z, and I can identify that all three of those actions or those words that were used, that was 16-year-old Summer coming out and about because of whatever trauma happened in her past, but I can identify it.
Yeah.
I know it. I'm familiar with it. I understand it. But that's only because of communication. Yeah.
And bringing back to yesterday, like it wasn't always like that. Like I probably would have just been snappy and mean and not even realized that I was doing it. So it just comes back to like how you speak. And, you know, not every relationship is like this, and I struggle to understand how, but like Connor knows everything. So like when I go to him and I'm like, this is 16-year-old Summer, he's like, ding, know exactly what that means. But like it also took 6 years of groundwork of being like, and here's Pandora's box.
Pandora's box set on fire in a case of electric eels.
Wow.
I'd say that's
shout out, Dad.
A fair description. Go Charles.
Last one that the girly pops wrote in that we're going to touch on today was that it's hard to communicate my feelings. My partner sees them as an attack against him.
I'd say it comes down to how are you expressing those feelings? And
yeah,
very literally, word selection can make the biggest difference on whether or not somebody feels attacked or whether or not somebody feels as though you're expressing your emotions.
Yeah. If I went to Connor and was like, you did this, that's so different than like, hey, when you did that, it made me feel like this. And like one is just blatantly argumentative and accusatory. And the other one is just like, because at the end of the day, how we interpret something, even like day to day, is going to be so different. Connor could say something to me today and the same thing tomorrow, and he could get two different reactions.
Well, one of my favorite, it's not a quote, but like one of my favorite things I've heard recently. I wish I remember the podcast. It was in instances such as that, you have to reframe and ask, okay, I know what I said, but what did you hear? Mm-hmm. Because for a lot of communication issues, for a lot of relationship issues around communication, that's what it comes down to. It doesn't come down to the actual words that were being spoken. It's what was heard on the other end of things. Yeah. So I could sit down and be like, hey, babe, 2 + 2 = 4. It's clear as day. Like, there's no argument here. It's super calm and simple. But for whatever reason, she heard 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 4. She's not wrong, but she heard it differently than what I spoke. Yeah. And just by that frame or reframe there, that can lead to two different conversations.
Yeah.
That can be me thinking, what the fuck? Why I said 2 + 2 = 4. That's so simple. Why the fuck don't you understand that? And then in
He would never bring math into our relationships. Thank God.
but then in her head, she's like, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
But technically, we're both right. We just heard two different things, and we're approaching it two different directions. So as long as you can understand,
Yeah.
there's a difference between maybe what has been spoken and what was heard.
Yeah. I would say we have that at least once a week, and we both just go, you know what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
At the end of the day.
In most of those instances, it doesn't matter at all.
And the reality, too, is like, we come back to this a lot, but at the end of the day, 99.7% of our arguments, it's like, it's just us against the problem. It's never you against me.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so easy to just be like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Connor's other favorite thing to do is be like, you know what? Fine, you can be mad, but go ahead and tell anyone in the world why you're mad. I want you to go tell your friends that you're mad over a plate. Like, you go bring this argument to them and be like, I'm mad because Connor put the plate down loud on the counter. They're going to be like...
I haven't done that in a while, but yeah, that's a really good one. I like when I do that.
Because
it's never about anything of substance.
No.
It's always about something fucking stupid, and for whatever reason, you just like go off on something.
Yeah,
like,
I saw a really funny...
that's fine. Be as mad as you want. Go tell Carly.
Shout out, bestie. Yeah, I saw this thing the other day that was saying, lost it. Oh, it was a podcast clip. I don't know what the podcast was, but she was like, I'm so sick of people saying that, like, your person should be this and should be that. Your person's probably the most triggering fucking person you know. And I was like, no, like, Connor and me do not trigger each other. And then, like, a literal hour later, I was like, if he hits that fucking granola with the meat cleaver one more time, I'm going to have to figure out how to drag a 247-pound body down a garbage chute.
I was 244 this morning. I'm skinty. It's a meat hammer, not a cleaver.
What's the difference?
A cleaver's a knife.
I can hit you with that too.
Thirdly, on Saturday, I get to smash 100 grams of granola instead of 30. So it's going to be a symphony in the morning.
I took a video for my vlog yesterday doing my hair, and you just hear it in the back, and I go, if anyone can fucking hear that, it's my husband knowing that he can make noise doing literally anything.
And that is exactly what all my high school teachers used to say as well. God. Now, on that beautiful note,
I think it's time we log off. We're both like,
I think we're done.
Out.
My brain is so fucking fried. I can't even fathom what the next 6 hours of my life looks like.
I think next pod we're going to talk about eloping and meeting your person at the right time, because something that we talked on the first time we recorded this podcast was that, like, if me and Connor met 3 years sooner even, we probably wouldn't have even chose
if we had met
to walk on the same side of the road.
2 years, maybe 3, because what year did you start bodybuilding? 2018?
Sure.
Yeah, 3 years.
But yeah, we definitely wouldn't have vibed.
No, we'll elaborate on that in the next episode.
Yeah,
I don't want to divulge too much, but
that'll be your teaser.
Like, subscribe, comment, drop your questions, and
we'll probably end up doing more on communication, because I do think it's one thing we do well. So if you ever have any others, but drop questions about other stuff too.
Yeah, drop them all. What topics you'd like us to cover. And the last thing I think I mentioned last time we recorded this, whatever, any and all questions are open and fair game. We're pretty much an open book across the board about everything. Obviously, we own Pivotal Coaching. We're in the fitness industry for a decade plus between the two of us. She's worked in high-ticket sales. I have a mechanical engineering degree. There's PEDs, there's college, there's friends, there's family. There's a lot that ends up being navigated in a typical life of a 30-year-old nowadays. Childhood trauma as well.
Only one of us can speak on that, and I'll give you one guess.
And here's the thing, I'll happily speak on the opposite of that, though.
It's me, and I'm like, that's crazy.
It's 100% you. There's no guessing here. But please, any and all questions, any and all topics, fair game and open. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and
hopefully there's audio, baby.
Let's hope there's audio on this one.
Bye.